Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on February 25th, 2015. And, this week's NXT was, it was more, as it is usually, it was more based around in-ring action, but you didn't really have much in the terms of main storyline setup. You had kind of sub-stories going on, for the most part, that would probably lead in more towards the main stories later down the road. But they did start off the show with Hideo Itami and Bold MC. Pretty much nothing in the terms story-wise, but just another good way of trying to show what Hideo Itami can do in the ring and the fact that he can work with a bigger opponent and do it relatively well. It was a relatively short match, but it was still relatively good. So, I mean, there's a few things I wish that Hideo Itami would get a little bit better. Obviously, he doesn't have... obviously, he's, still learning the English language, so we're not getting much in the terms of promos. He's got pretty good English as it is already. So for people that have a hard time understanding that, he doesn't fall under that boat in the terms of people that come over from overseas and from those promotions over to the WWE. So that's one definite good side. The only thing is, I wish he would get a better finisher right now. I know I know what his moves have been in the past, which is one, the GTS, and two, the running knee. So obviously the running knee is being taken up by Daniel Bryan. And CM Punk did the GTS, so he's reluctant to probably go that route just because of the whole CM Punk thing. And not trying to garner any heat. Though I do like how in the bigger matches he teases going for it, just get that crowd pop. It's a great way for him to try to get the crowd pop in there. But I wish he would have something better than that running drop kick for a finisher, or the running, the running foot to the face. It just does not. It doesn't look bad, but it's not. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't look that powerful. I wish that you would get something a little bit better. So hopefully that'll be done somewhere down the road. I did like the segment after his match with the run-in with Tyler Breeze using the selfie stick to attack him. I thought it was it's obviously a unique way of using a different weapon, and it also comes off as maybe a little bit comical, but still not too bad. Not too bad in that case. It's part of what Tyler Breeze uses, so it can double as a weapon. Okay, that was pretty nice. I liked the little bit afterwards where he's trying to take a selfie with Hideo down, and he takes too long, and Hideo just appears from behind, standing up behind him when he finally sees him in the phone. So that was a nice little cool segment towards it as well. Up next, you had Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan versus the Lucha Dragons. Again. Right before the match, they had a promo from Solomon Crowe, because obviously kind of taking over. They're playing like this thing where he hacks into the NXT thing, so they're making it feel like he's trying to take over a portion of the show, and that is actually not too bad. I don't mind where they're going with the character. His promo delivery is quite well at this point. I can't wait to see a little bit more with him and see where he actually has an actual storyline with somebody here in the future. So we'll see where they go along with that. And then they had the match with Jason Jordan, Ty Dillinger, and the Lucha Dragons, which was pretty much a setup towards Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger breaking off from each other. And not too. You haven't seen too much of these guys, so it looks like they're going to go into a program with each other at this time instead of being a full-on tag team, which I don't mind in that. I don't mind in this case. I know they're going to probably lose the Lucha Dragons here very soon to the main roster, but breaking off this tag team doesn't seem to really hurt anything at this point in time. But you definitely saw it throughout the entire match. I liked how they did it too. It was really well done. You had Jason Jordan start off the match and then tagging Ty Dillinger. He gets in trouble, and as soon as he gets back into a little bit of control, you saw a little bit of dissension between the two of them, where Jordan was trying to get in, but Dillinger was trying to stay in the match and telling him to calm down and everything, leading to Jason Jordan leaving him for the at the end of the match. That was actually rather well done. I kind of liked the route they went with it. That was almost like an old way of doing it again. I do like how they use like some of the old tactics in wrestling for storylines still work in this day and age, and this one works as well. I thought it was pulled off rather well in this case. I liked how and also afterwards you had Ty Dillinger basically trying to call Jason Jordan out after the quick break in there, and he gets Baron Corbin instead, leading into, of course, a Baron Corbin really quick match. So all in all, we'll see where they go with that. Not too bad in this case. I actually rather enjoyed that one. It wasn't too bad, and maybe it'll be a good way of having these two guys, maybe get a little bit more airtime and a chance to maybe show a little bit more what they can do. So we'll see how they go with that. Up next, they had Bayley and Becky Lynch. Basically just continue to play off the Fatal 4-Way match from the week before, or from the NXT Takeover Rival, and didn't really create much of a storyline aspect between them in any way, but it was at least a way for them to again, show off what they're show off what they can do as well. And you did have the history from the past, so there was reasons behind the match, but nothing too spectacular. The match itself was rather good. Again, really enjoyable. I liked the submission finisher from Becky Lynch and how they had her lock it in, and having her lock in the armbar in a different way came off really well. This leads to the main event, which was Finn Balor versus a returning The Brian Kendrick. You know what? The Brian Kendrick was really good. He's still really good in the ring. They did give him promo time. They did give Rhino promo time a little bit after in a backstage segment. Hopefully, maybe leading into something a little bit more with him and Finn Balor. But nothing was really mentioned about it in that promo. But the match between Finn Balor and The Brian Kendrick was a rather good one. I liked how they created a sub-storyline with Kevin Owens being out there, and how they were creating something with him and Alex Riley. I liked how those two worked on commentary together. They came off really well, and creating like a sub-storyline for the match that was going on in the ring at that point. Because obviously you have Finn Balor, Kevin Owens going, are eventually going to go after each other, with Finn Balor being #1 contender and Kevin Owens being champion, but they're obviously not going to do that right away. So they have this sub-storyline with Kevin Owens and Alex Riley. So after the match with the Brian Kendrick, you have Kevin Owens come back out there to stare down Finn Balor, and then he attacks Alex Riley. Obviously probably prompting that Alex Riley's going to be getting off of the commentator's booth and then coming back to in-ring action. So that'll be really interesting. I didn't necessarily think Alex Riley was all that good of a character back in the day, but he was definitely good in the ring, so he can at least lead into some good matches. He's also a relatively good talker. Just didn't really have much in the terms of a gimmick or just a character in general. He's kind of just a guy who could talk and he could wrestle, and that was basically it. But he didn't really have anything that set him as a top-level guy back in the day. So we'll see where they go with that. I did like the stare down with Kevin Owens and Finn Balor afterwards as well. Then so it was like, they created the sub-storyline with Kevin Owens and Alex Riley, but they didn't downplay the whole aspect between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens for that, which came off, again, rather well. This was another thoroughly entertaining NXT. It's a relatively good hour of wrestling to watch each week, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it every time I've watched it so far. They haven't really fully disappointed me with a show. They've had segments that have been rather disappointing, but they have not had a full show that's been disappointing, which is the good thing right there. It's something you don't necessarily get with Raw, SmackDown, or TNA in any way, shape, or form. They've had plenty of times where the entire show was just a disappointment. NXT's yet to do that. So again, this week, a really good NXT. We'll see if they continue going on with all these storylines, and see how they decide to go along with things. And that's my review this week for NXT, and I thank you guys for watching.